Hey, thank you for joining us on Up to Speed this Monday, February 1st. It's a new month. January was challenging in many ways, but here we are. We're still focused on moving forward, keeping that growth mindset, making sure our actions reflect that. Joining us today, our HR leader, Christy Pambianchi, is here with an update on our race and social justice action plan, our pulse, and much more. Before we get to Christy, though, we are going to head south. How's Tampa Bay sound? We are less than a week away from the big game between the Bucs and the Chiefs, and Verizon is once again elevating the Super Bowl in so many big ways. Just a quick snapshot of our announcements today. We are investing more than $80 million in permanent 5G deployments for our gamers, a virtual Verizon 5G stadium in Fortnite Creative. We're also paying it forward with an after-party concert benefiting 1 million small businesses. That's a $10 million commitment from us to make a difference in so many lives. We're going to dive deeper into those activities all week long. There's a lot for all of us to be proud of as we march towards the big day for Super Bowl. And while Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are getting ready to lead their teams on the field Sunday, right now, reporting in Tampa, our very own up-to-speed quarterback, Jess Bonardi, joins us live from Florida. Jess, you're missing out on the big snowstorm here out east. How are those Tampa Bay Rays?
Well, Andy, if it was baseball season, I would say not too bad. But considering it is football season, the Tampa Bay Rays are actually not out today.
Touche.
But we're here, yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about football. I mean, obviously, you got the stadium behind you. How's the buzz around Tampa right now?
So it is such an exciting place to be right now. This is a historic Super Bowl, especially here for Tampa Bay fans. I'm here outside Raymond James Stadium, where the energy with the community and our V-teamers is like sky high right now. We have our 5G and 4G network solutions right outside the stadium. It's been so amazing to spend time with them and see all the amazing enhancements that they made in and around the city to prepare for this amazingly incredible event next week.
It's always awesome when Super Bowl rolls around. But Jess, you've been working hard, talking to our teammates, our customers, and on Up to Speed this week, there's a lot that we're going to cover, and a lot of it is going to come from you and our team down in Tampa. Tell us what's ahead this week for Super Bowl and Up to Speed.
Yeah, so tomorrow we've been spending time with some of the small business recipients of our Verizon 5G technology. So we'll be seeing how they're using this technology to move their business forward. And on Thursday, you'll see all the great time I spent at the command center with those network engineers who are making sure that our network is up and running 24/7 for the people here in the game on next Sunday, and also for the rest of the time in Tampa. These solutions are permanent, and they will serve the community for years and years to come.
Very cool. We're looking at some video right now, Jess, and it looks like you had a great time. I just wish you didn't have to wear that jacket. I mean, I was thinking Tampa would be blue skies and, a little bit of humidity there, but doesn't seem to be the case.
No, I'll take it over snow, that's for sure, but maybe I'll just have to come down for my tan next year or in LA for the next Super Bowl.
There you go. There you go. Our Super Bowl correspondent live for us in Tampa Bay. Jess, thank you very much. Be safe out there, and we will see you again very soon. Okay, turning now to our conversation with Christy. And before we look forward, let's glance back for a minute. In 2020, we saw a global movement demanding long overdue racial and social justice. Never one to sit on the sidelines, Verizon stepped forward to be an agent of change. Now, throughout last year, we hosted so many courageous conversations to listen, learn, become even greater allies, and that message in those conversations were clear. It also takes action. So let's continue to go beyond the conversation, drive greater equality and equity within and beyond our walls. Now, today, of course, marks the start of Black History Month. It's the perfect time to reflect on what we have achieved and where we're going as a company and community. There's a lot more to be done, and there will always be a lot more to be done. And it's all about bold actions to pave the way for progress. With that, I want to welcome back our HR leader, Christy Pambianchi, helping us kick off Black History Month. Before we do, Christy, as you mentioned, as Jess mentioned, there's a lot of snow here in the Northeast. How are you and your family handling that right now? It looks like a Christmas card out there.
Thanks, Andy. Great to be here on Up to Speed, talking to all the V-teamers today. Wow, I love a good winter storm, and we are for sure getting that right now. I'm looking out at giant, fluffy, white snowflakes almost a foot of snow on the ground and maybe another foot to go. So hunkered down. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we've got our network teams and our teams that deal with managing emergencies like this are working hard, of course. But I do want to call out the shirt you're wearing, Christy. You're also blinged out as well. But let's take the next slide. If you saw what I saw there, it is the new Verizon shirt dedicated to equality, which we are introducing in conjunction with Black History Month to reflect our commitment to equity and equality. It is available for pre-order now and for purchase and distribution on February 15th. Similar to our black checkmark t-shirt, we worked with a black-owned, woman-owned business as a supplier, and $5 per shirt will be donated to the National Urban League. So look online to find out how to order yours today. We'll provide a link in the replay web copy of this episode as well. Before we dive into some of the progress we made as a company, we just want to get your thoughts, Christy, on who you're thinking about this month. Can you share with us a change maker within the black community who you admire?
Wow, Andy, for History Month, and there's just so many, Dr. Martin Luther King to Rosa Parks and Maya Angelou, as well as, my deep admiration for President and First Lady Barack and Michelle Obama. I have to admit, though, at the inauguration, I was moved to tears listening to Amanda Gorman recite the poem, The Hill We Climb. And the speaking and the storytelling that she brought, plus the words that she put together to create that poem, were just so perfect for this moment in time that we find ourselves in, that I have to admit that right now that's really having a profound effect on me and I think so many others, and really exemplify the hope I have for the future. And I just found out, Andy, that she's actually going to be performing at the Super Bowl. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I've watched a lot of interviews with her since the recitement of her poem, and really just some inspirational words for all of us to take to heart and reflect on. And I love the idea that she's 22 and, this is the youth talking to us and helping shape for the world what that next leg of the journey is as we learn to live in a world as diverse and rich as the one that we are in.
It's incredible how many people she has inspired and moved in the past few weeks there. And if she is the voice of our next generation, we are in good hands. Christy, thank you. So let's talk about our racial justice action plan here. So following the murder of George Floyd in May, you quickly sprung into action to create a race and social justice action plan, and that outlined how we would make a difference. So can you remind V-Teamers why this is important and what we're aiming to achieve?
Yeah, thanks for that, Andy. Obviously, the events last year were just so incredibly powerful and really brought the world together to face this head on. And I think for us, we felt a huge call to action as well, because we know that our employees, our customers, our communities have all been affected, and really trying to figure out how to go forward. So we built a racial justice action plan around 3 pillars focused on, how do we continue the conversation? How do we build a strong organization? And how do we engage the community?
Yeah, and we can't quite do a comprehensive readout, of course, of everything we've achieved, but just a few recent highlights. What's the latest when it comes to the plan here?
So this has just been so amazing, the bringing together of so many teams across Verizon to bring forward those aspirations that we hold out for ourselves along those 3 pillars. I want to highlight something I just think is just such an amazing thing, which is for the next 20 series, Up to Speed, as well as the racial tool available for our leaders and employees. He's garnered over 5 million views. This is just amazing. So first, hats off to the many people that have helped create and curate and conduct all of these pieces of content, media, communication, and training across Verizon, the communications, and other teams. We've touched 5 million people with this content. We're not stopping. So season 2 of Next 20 will be kicking off with a new episode tomorrow, and the toolkit is going to get a refresh later this month. And so very, very exciting on our first pillar of continuing the conversation, because we think finding common ground, talking, learning is a really important step to driving progress. when we think about building a stronger organization, we've done a lot of work as well. And a couple of things we've been doing in particular is how do we develop a pipeline of diverse talent, and how do we also continue to cultivate diverse talent pools? Just to highlight two things, Andy, we've been really focusing on our partnerships with the HBCUs, the historically Black colleges and universities. We have 11 that we're partnering with this year, and we're really strengthening those partnerships so that we're connecting. We're doing the Inroads program as well as Breakthrough Tech to attract and support diverse talent. And then in terms of diversifying our talent pipeline, we're investing in a number of programs and pilots with Bold and Competitive Edge Plus. And we're also working on a Black Management Accelerator program, a 6-month immersive development opportunity. And so those are just a few things to highlight, but overall, I'm just so proud of the way our teams have come together on these two important programs.
Yeah, and I know that for so many V-teamers, myself included, the representation, it matters. And to see, what we're doing to create diverse talent, it's awesome to see and hear about. Christy, talking about community engagement, it's something that's near and dear to your heart. So many of our V-teamers feel the same way. How are we working with partners to keep pushing for that greater societal change and justice?
Andy, that's one of the things I also think has been so exciting. We're keeping the conversation going. We're building a strong organization, but we're also contributing to the community. And so I know a lot of V-teamers are always interested to hear where did the $10 million donation go, and how is that money helping advance progress? And so we are so fortunate to be working with 7 of the leading organizations in the world advancing racial and social justice, who have done some amazing things over the last year, and also leveraging the contributions we and others made. I'll just highlight a few. The NAACP ran one of the largest voter mobilization efforts in the country in history. This targeted Black voters, and it galvanized communities to get out the vote. And we believe these efforts that the NAACP headed up reached a total of 12 million Black voters and potential voters. So to me, this is really just so exciting, because democracy works when everybody participates and everybody's vote counts. So to me, that is really exciting, and I hope the V-teamers are excited to hear that. In addition, the NAACP LDF addressed pressing issues calling for equality across a number of fronts: fair lending, effective policing, and protecting the rights of African Americans who have been disproportionately impacted by the economic effects of COVID-19. And finally, another piece of our donation went toward the Leadership Conference for Civil and Human Rights, committed to increasing accountability and transparency for law enforcement at the federal, state, and local levels. This organization also helped support Get Out the Vote initiatives, and they also fought against efforts on voter suppression. So really just a few highlights. There's so many more, but these are great ways in which our contribution to the community has come forth.
We talk so much about that fourth stakeholder, society, and our leaders talk about this all the time. And so it's great to see that, again, we're putting actions to those words there. Christy, keeping it focused on community engagement, we know our CSR team continues to drive forward some really exciting work on the racial justice front. Can you share more on that?
Yeah, first, I hope you all are checking out the volunteer portal. This is just a great way in which our corporate social responsibility team is constantly curating opportunities for our V-teamers to get out there and contribute to the community. And in particular, this is captured really well under our Citizen Verizon platform. But a couple of things I thought I would highlight related to this topic that I think really just highlight the amazing work the V-team is doing. One is called, in the area of Black Accelerator programs. In January, we launched pilot programs to support Black and Latinx tech innovators in Houston and Chicago by providing financial and technical support. A second example is with the Clinton Global Initiative University. Through the Clinton Global Initiative University program, Verizon is going to help college students develop tech-driven solutions that address critical social justice issues. Another effort, a third, is called Young Men of Color. And Verizon is also partnering with the 23 HBCUs to reach young men of color in middle school and provide them with out-of-school STEM programming. And finally, another highlight is in late December, we became a founding member of a brand new organization called 110, which is committed to creating 1 million new jobs for Black and African Americans over the next 10 years by 2030. So 1 million in 10 years.
It's awesome, and this list here, Christy, reminds me of the V-teamer on our panel last week during earnings, Roberto De Jesus, who said, his work in CSR reminded him of his youth, and that he could see himself in those students. And I know that so many of our V-teamers who work on these projects feel the same way. And so it's awesome that we're able to sort of move the world forward in such a personal way. So thank you for that update. And thank you, of course, to the teams for keeping that going. Key part of our journey, of course, from great to fantastic, is our quarterly pulse surveys. And all of our V-teamers should have gotten an email. And our first one of 2021, it's starting today. So tell us a little bit more about that. Pretty exciting time in Pulse world.
Yes, I love the Pulse survey, Andy. The Pulse is so important because we want to make sure we're building and bringing to life the Verizon that we all want to be. And one of the ways we do that is constantly ask ourselves, how are we doing? So we hope all of you can take the time. It'll literally take minutes to fill out the today.
Oh, it looks like we may be having some trouble here with Christy's connection. It looks like it went away. I think Christy's back. Yep. Okay. Yeah, let's hit reset on that. I think maybe snowstorm's doing some things to us. But Christy, go ahead and restart on that Pulse survey there.
Pulse is something we love, and it's a way that we can have all the V-teamers tell us how we're doing and are we bringing Verizon to life the way we want. It's open today from February 1st to February 12th. We've got some great questions in there highlighting our purpose and our follow-up from our action plans, and we can't wait to hear from all of you. We want as much participation as possible. And as a reminder, we're seeking to move from 75th percentile, like we want to be the best employer in the whole world. So we'll be doing our Gallup surveys throughout the year, Andy, and I can't wait to be back on Up to Speed, sharing out the results with Hans later this month.
Looking forward to it. And for our newer V-teamers, if you're not familiar with Pulse, you should know that the things that you mention in these Pulse surveys, they create real change for our company. That's how we get from great to fantastic with the input from all of you. So please go ahead and take that Pulse when you can. Let's talk a little bit about some of the recognition that we've been getting. To be the best, we need to recruit and support great talent and vision. And I heard we got 2 exciting recognitions that reflect our people and purpose.
Andy, we got 2 amazing recognitions, and I just want to give a shout out and thanks to all of V-teamers that make this possible. First, I want to highlight we were named number 3 on the 2021 Military Friendly Company Index, where we have been in the top 10 for the last 4 years. And this really reflects our overall commitment to the military, and really proud about that. It's a great achievement, and our military partners and employees are just so phenomenal and such a great part of our purpose and our mission here at Verizon. Love to see ourselves recognized like that. And then we just found out, to be announced today, that we are number 1 in the telecommunications sector on Fortune's 2021 Most Admired Companies list. So number 1, Fortune's Most Admired Companies list for telecom. Totally psyched. We just knocked out and became the number 1 in that list. And so we're going to continue to strive and make Verizon best in the world.
I know clapping's doesn't really work in the world of virtual, but there it is. Yep, Christy's raising the roof, and I am as well. So yes, congratulations.
Applause.
Yes, absolutely. So congratulations. And of course, that's a big reflection on the work that our HR team does to make sure that we recruit and keep great talent and we support our military. It is absolutely cool. Christy, we threw a lot at you today, but let's spend some time talking about the ongoing COVID-19 response strategy. What you are hearing as the COVID-19 vaccines they continue to roll out. There's a lot to manage. How's that going? And if you can give us a quick update on that, that'd be wonderful.
Thanks so much, Andy. So first, to all of you teamers out there, we're so thankful for all your help in bringing our COVID action planning to life, following the safety protocols, using the return to office tool, wearing our Verizon masks. These are just all key components of bringing the safety and the employee health forward. The world is beginning to see a decrease in the rate of new COVID cases, so that's a really good sign. We obviously had a big run-up in case rates at the end of the year with all of the holidays and times that people were spending together with families and such indoors. So really saw an escalation in case rates through the end of November, December, January. But now we're seeing multiple signs that that's curbing, and you see that highlighted on the news. So that's the good news. I think another piece of good news is we do have 2 vaccines approved for use here in the United States. There are vaccines approved for use in various countries around the world outside of the United States. And so really the key focus right now is keep following all the safety COVID protocols, and then let's help get communication out around the vaccine, how people can sign up for the vaccine and get the vaccine. I want to highlight, we've gotten a lot of questions from V-Teamers, Andy, about will we be able to, Verizon, be distributing the vaccine? And so what I want all the V-Teamers to know is right now the federal and state and county governments in some cases in the United States are managing that. And each country around the world has their own protocols for managing the vaccine distribution. And so we're encouraging all of the Verizon employees to please check our COVID webpage. We have current information for you based on where you live, how you can engage with, sign up for, get onto the registries in your jurisdiction for the vaccine distribution. I also would highlight this is a top priority in the United States for the new administration. Their public commitment is to get 100 million Americans vaccinated in the next 100 days. So this is still a very fluid situation. The new administration started a little over 2 weeks ago. They're trying to get an active inventory on the COVID vaccines. They're trying to order more inventory, and the states are working with the federal government on their distribution sites. And so I just can't emphasize enough, please leverage the websites that we've given you, follow your local guidance to get registered or in the flow for your various areas or states that you live in. As we know more, or if there's a role that we could play, we will of course communicate to the V-Teamers about that. That's just not where the federal and state governments are at right now. And so I can't emphasize enough, please stay tuned. Over 25 million vaccines have been provided in the United States so far, many more to come. And every country around the world is working on how to get that and bring that forward. And we're also going to do more to continue to encourage and share information about the vaccine so people can feel comfortable taking the vaccine.
Excellent. And as we wait for societal change and progress with all of this, we just thank you and the HR team for continuing that love and support for all of our V-Teamers, whether they're dealing with COVID or their families are, or just have questions about it. It definitely feels like we are truly moving forward together in that regard. Christy, before we get to you for some final thoughts on this February 1st, as we wrap up, we started with sports. We'll end with a preview of our next 20 back to talk about activism in sports. So let's take the next slide here. Now, in this episode, senior NBA insider Chris Haynes from Yahoo Sports moderates a star-studded panel with some of my favorite athletes here. We've got basketball pros Ray Allen, Jrue Holiday, and Renee Montgomery to discuss athletes' long history of speaking out for social change. You can watch this powerful episode live on Verizon's Twitter channel this Tuesday, February 2nd at 2 p.m. Eastern. I am looking out my window, and clearly I'm not going anywhere, but I am thinking of our network teams who are making sure they're managing this, and of course our crews out there who are working. Hopefully all of you are staying safe, but checking back in with Christy for some final thoughts here before we end the show on this snowy Monday. Christy?
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Again, thanks for all the V-Teamers out there. Very excited to be launching today our Equality T-shirt and also Black History Month. There's amazing programming throughout the month that has been put together. So I hope many of you out there will be able to join in the conversations, learn something, and contribute to making Verizon the best that we can be. And I think tomorrow's Groundhog Day, so I'll be looking to see whether the groundhog sees its shadow or not, and are we going to have 6 more weeks of winter. But today's snowstorm may be a foreshadowing of that event tomorrow. And so with that, Andy, just great to be here, and I'll kick it back to you.
Excellent. We will check in with Punxsutawney Phil in just a little bit. But Christy, thank you so much for joining us. A big thanks, of course, to Jess Bonardi and the team down in Tampa. And, of course, a lot more Super Bowl coverage coming up this week on Up to Speed. Look for that. And thank you again. Stay safe out there. Happy February. Let's keep rocking February the way we did January. And until next time, you're Up to Speed.